Good morning, everyone. Today we're checking out a brand new video from Dead Meat. The kill count for VHS 94. Oh, God. Alright, let's just go ahead and hop into this. This is what, the third, fourth one? I don't remember. Let's just go. They're all kind of just on the run together.
Welcome to the Kill Count, where we tally up the victims in all our favorite horror movies and show you how they were made. I'm James A. Janice.
I'm Chelsea Rebecca.
And I'm Zoran. You can have pizza anytime. Gavoyage.
And today we're looking at VHS
I like
94,
that.
released in 2021. After the critical failure of VHS Viral, hopes for a sequel seem slim. But
Oh, yeah,
7
that
years
was
later,
the thought
producer
one.
Brad Miska decided to reboot the franchise.
I just remember a long time ago Simon saying, like, maybe it's too soon to do VHS 3. And he was maybe right.
He turned to David Bruckner, the man
Apparently.
behind Amateur Night, who had the idea to set this fourth installment in 1994. He liked how that era's technology made everything look crappy.
You could film, the most beautiful person or thing in the world on VHS and it would look ugly.
Bruckner was unable to contribute a segment,
Yeah,
though, since
he's
he was pulled
kinda
away
right a
to
little
direct the
bit.
Hellraiser reboot. VHS 94 follows a SWAT team who invades the compound of a VHS worshipping cult. They're meant to be the same group behind the tapes in the first two movies' wraparounds. 94 is a return to form
okay.
for the series, taking it back to the scrappy grunge aesthetic of the first film. Although Shudder wouldn't let them shoot directly on VHS, they did allow them to shoot in the cheaper looking 29 frames per second.
Which
Perfect. I
either
think.
means like you're broke or you found a camera at like a pawn shop from like 1993.
94 also returns a focus to practical effects, especially when it comes to its monsters. While the other VHSs had
Ooh.
cool creatures, like Lily, 94 puts them front and center. It's a rogues gallery of monsters, and a litany of
Damn.
cool kills. How many we talking?
Let's get
find
to the
out.
numbers.
Good afternoon, and welcome to DMP News. In a breaking report, the serial killer known as the Baker has been tracked to a local mall. Zoran Gavoyage is on the scene.
That's right, James. I am here at a local mall where the baker has been cornered and the entire
going
place is
on?
in a full lockdown. Police are not allowing anyone in or out. But more importantly, I want to add that you are coming in silky and crystal clear right now.
That's thanks to today's sponsor, Raycon,
There
and
it
their
is.
updated 1994 saw the end of Nirvana, the release of Pulp Fiction, and the Republican Revolution. How many kills did it have? Let's find out and get to them.
Let's go.
The movie begins with a production card, and then another, and then another. And would
That's
you
three.
motherfuckers believe me if it's 7? There are 7 of them. I joke,
Oh,
but I do
wow.
love to see people pitching together to make a movie. An eyeless lady in white is tripping balls and counting down.
5, 4, 3,
2, 1.
Happy New Year! Or, old year, because it's 1994. This tape is video evidence for a drug bust being done by an amped-up SWAT team.
alright.
It includes hot-headed Officer Slater and his combative co-worker, Petro. There are also a bunch
Alright.
of people with real dumb names, like Sprayberry, Spivey, and Orsler. We're nearing Jason X
What
territory with
the-
these. Cameraman Gary is documenting everything
Doesn't make
according
any
to the
sense.
officer's rules.
29.9 means erase the fucking tape.
Sorry, bud, but that ain't happening in this franchise. People telling on themselves all over the place. Dumbass Dante.
Yep.
Gary follows the team as they raid this warehouse of horrors. There's
Always
all
get
sorts
rid
of
of
shit here.
tapes.
Check it out.
All are welcome.
Oh, holy shit, a talking plane! The creepy, gloopy voice over the loudspeaker talks about a signal, calling it salvation and all that shit. Ain't much salvation for the eyeless corpse they find, who will never watch another VHS
Damn.
again. Huh,
Tom.
looks like that guy's name was Tom and he worked at a video store. Is he one of ours? Do we hire a Tom? The team ventures further into the compound and stumbles upon an IKEA
Like a
living room
Blockbuster.
display. It features a pillar of TVs and 6 more bodies, all of whom are victims of having too much screen time. As the team makes a plan, Gary zooms in on a TV screen to learn about something called the net.
Millions of Americans have personal computers and can access
and
the
there we
net
go.
for a modest monthly fee.
I think I'll stick to my telephone for now.
Yeah, and then those get the net, and then you won't be able to unstick yourself from them. Oh, speaking of which, Zoran, put that away, man. You got the first
Zoran?
second.
1 second, I'm doing something here.
It's the Ratmo one.
Oh! My kid can pick himself up from daycare. Let's go! The first segment is Storm Drain, which takes the form of a local news broadcast. The
Did you see how Agent went, Chuck? Let's go.
citizens of Westerville, Ohio have been catching glimpses of a sewer-dwelling creature dubbed the Rat Man. What's he look like?
This amateur sketch.
And that is a great reference to the early viral video about the Mobile, Alabama leprechaun.
This amateur sketch.
Who else
Oh
saw the
my
Rat
God.
Man say yeah?
Storm Storm Drain was written and directed by Chloe Okuno, who made her feature film debut the following year with Watcher, starring Micah Monroe. This segment is an excellent recreation of local news. Even though it's edited, the style and tone fit the franchise aesthetic much better than the slick documentary style of Dante the Great. Okuno took a lot of inspiration from Wreck, another found footage movie that followed a reporter. She was also influenced by the documentary Dark Days about people who live in the New York subway system. Field reporter Holly Marciano is on the scene, interviewing townsfolk who range from burnouts to Bible thumpers.
Well, I believe it's a sign from Jesus. It's time for sinners and elitists to get what's coming to them.
Oh, Camo Santa.
there's always that one.
Oh, yeah, you don't want to be on his naughty list. Holly works with her coverage-concerned cameraman, Jeff.
So do you want more B-roll of the forest?
No, you're right. We need to branch out. Wouldn't want this film to get too sappy. Oh, come on. Don't tell me you're sick of more puns.
And that's 3.
It's good to be back. Their Channel 6 news producer wants more in-depth footage, forcing them to venture into the titular storm drain. Ugh, so typical of Channel 6 news. Always wanting
Channel
stories
6.
about things living in sewers. Holly heads into the tunnel and finds
I get it. That's a TMNT reference.
evidence of a sewer slumber party.
Do any kids live down here?
Living? No. Dying? Yes.
Oh,
Maybe thanks
great.
to that,
Fucking clown.
Yeah, that guy gets it. Holly becomes
Pennywise.
inspired to do a story about people living in the sewer system. Like you do. And while it does seem she has some genuine concern for them, also there are some fringe benefits.
Don't you want to do something that will make a difference, Jeff? That will, like, I don't know, help people?
Maybe
Help you get your
have a bit of
Pulitzer,
light.
right?
Well, I guess that haircut isn't the only thing Holly has in common with Gale Weathers. Also, shout out to Anna Hopkins, who does a great job in this role. The news report turns into a horror short real fast as they walk deeper and deeper into the sewer. Oh, must be near Pleasant Piazza based
Come
on
on,
all
guys,
the
what's
spray
the
amounts. Peely's missing! No! They filmed a lot of this segment in a real storm drain in Toronto, making it as scary to shoot as it is to watch.
We were in a real storm drain.
Oh,
and I
good.
always had to be the first person, like, because the camera was behind me, so I had to walk into the storm, and I was like, I don't want to do this.
Okuno wanted to recreate the
light.
claustrophobic horror of The Descent, a movie that still haunts me to this day. I don't want to think about it. And felt a real storm drain was a good way to do it.
I wouldn't go back in, but it was cool.
Eventually, Holly spots something.
Someone's here.
You think? Because that is clearly a scary night man. Oh! As Jeff is getting
Is
more
he the Phantom
B-roll
of
of
the
this
Day Man?
bedroll, he's jump scared by the squishiest eye I have ever heard. I mean, man, there is such thing as too much Visine. The eye belongs to a dirty duckling of a man in need of some Dawn soap. Holly tries to get an interview, but he's pretty taciturn. So it turns out this oily boy is leaking more fluid than information. Are you sure your name's not Bosco? Okay, just checking.
Okay,
Things are
his
finally
name is
creepy
Bill.
enough for Holly to call it quits, but not without leaving her business card. Ooh, that's nice. What is that, bone? Suddenly, she's kidnapped by an off-screen Holly Hunter, and Jeff's not far behind thanks to a jump scare
Oh,
jump
damn.
cut. Holly wakes up later, handcuffed with, what, plastic bags? Oh, come on, you could tear right through those. See?
If well
One second.
done.
She tries and fails to reason with the Mudmen, saying she can help them.
I'm actually doing a story on you.
Her offer is mocked by this motley crew's leader, that Hellfire priest from earlier. And he's
What?
played by Brian Paul, who was one of Lynn Denlin's fellow surgeons in Saw 3. Holly sees that Jeff is also being held hostage.
Here we go.
When the more or less Morlocks bring him to a deep, dark tunnel that holds the main event. It's the Rat Man! Skippity-dip, yo, holy fuck,
That's a
that thing's
scat
creepy.
man.
Oh, it's like a loaf of bread fucked a Calvin and Hobbes drawing. Or like a
Jeez.
Xenomorph's love child with that Jack-in-the-Box from Krampus. Or just like a really good creature design, man. I love it.
Yeah,
This
it's well
non-ginger
done.
Rat King actually goes by Ratma and rules over his underground ratocracy. He was designed by artist Keith Thompson, who also designed creatures in The Ritual and No One Gets Out Alive. The monster was brought to life by effects artist Patrick only had 2 weeks to build the mechanical head and the bodysuit torso. And
That's
that head
it?
could do all kinds of things, like move its jaw, drip drool, and waggle its tongue. Also, the bodysuit had a bunch of nipples. His work was worn and performed by
Jeez.
creature actor Thiago dos Santos, who we've seen on the channel as the leper in It Chapter 2. The crew liked his work just as much as I do. Oh, rat.
Oh,
Turns
look
out
at
that Prometheus-y looking black goo we've seen everywhere belongs to Dear Rat Boy. And the pastor uses his Ratat Drooly to baptize Jeff as a test of faith.
But the spittoon secretion burns off his face instead. Ooh, yes, he was no dragon.
Oh,
Next
damn.
up is Holly
Sorry,
Marciano
Jeff.
versus Jersey Joe Walrat. She gets up close and personal with this Willard wet dream.
So I'm sorry to pause, but I gotta ask: are we going to get an explanation on what the hell created animated rat guy, man, boy thing.
Showing off more of this incredible costume. I just want to... No, whoever's controlling the camera needs to just chill out. It's gonna be less stable when you're zoomed in like that. Didn't you spend too much money on film school like me? Holly gets her
Apparently not.
symbiote saliva shower straight from the source. And lucky for her, it doesn't seem to be lethal. But I can't imagine that's good for her pores. The tape blue screens into an infomercial.
The Veggie Masher turns your ordinary drab vegetables into a tasty, mouth-watering paste in mere seconds.
This bizarre interlude was directed and edited by Steven Kostansky, the man behind The Void, The Little Shit Returns, and Psycho Gorman. Recently, he did effects for In a Violent Nature, but this infomercial here is strangely straightforward. I mean, there's no yoga girls or hunky boys or nothing. Frig off. We flash forward to a news report about a sewer rescue. Oh dear God, how long has baby Jessica been down there? Oh, no, it's Holly. She's cleaned up since then and is now an anchor woman.
Ohio State plays the Indiana Hoosiers tomorrow night. Good luck to our Buckeyes.
You have some of that.
What did I just hear?
Nothing. Can I please finish my segment? Holly seems to be having a little trouble.
Sorry, I talked over that. What?
It plays the Indiana Hoosiers tomorrow night. Good luck to our Buckeyes.
What the fuck did I just hear?
Nothing. Can I please finish my segment? Holly seems to be having a little trouble reading the teleprompter.
People are already lining up to Ratma the Hay Rides, Apple Ratma, and of course, to see who will be crowned the festival's largest Ratma.
Well, at least you didn't tell San Diego to go fuck itself. But I will say, Goo was a bad choice, since she projectile vomits it onto her coworker, and it, causes his face to look like it fell in the cheese dip back in 1957. Just, and his eyeballs are falling out.
There it goes.
This is great. Just no notes. He also did this crazy effect, and I don't have much to say about it specifically, but I do want to share this behind-the-scenes footage. The segment then ends with Holly bidding the viewers good night and good luck.
I'm Holly Marciano, Channel 6 News. Hail Ratma.
Okay, you can have it back. Yes. Have fun with the wraparound.
Get out of that.
In the spooky VHS compound of doom, Petro leads Spivey and another officer named Nash down to the lower levels. They discover a makeshift church filled with bodies in the pews. But these ain't kills to count, they're kill count props. This kind of shit overflowing from my closet. Looks like the Church of Saturday Sales. This wraparound, titled Holy Hell, was written and directed by Jennifer Reeder. She was excited to create a more traditional horror story than her usual, more experimental fare. She wrote the segment around the prop warehouse location, which already had these church pews, that airplane, and a bunch of lazy boys. When it came to the VHS cult, she was inspired by David Cronenberg's Videodrome and the danger of underground cult videos. Pipe organ music plays us into the next tape, The Empty Wake. It takes place at the Jensen Funeral Home, where a wake is being held for Andrew Edwards. His family has requested the service be filmed, hence the cameras everywhere. Great coverage, too. We've got 2 stationary angles on sticks and a third camera that's handheld. I love the funeral home setting. They've always creeped me out, and Haunting at Hill House didn't help with that shit. This is a big night for new employee Haley, who's gonna be running the show on her own. Before they leave, her bosses gossip about their closed casket client. Edwards was in a nasty accident that left quite the stitch job for Mortician Tim.
I was more or less able to get him back into his original shape. Pity about his face.
Yeah, more or less.
And head.
Haley waits for the wait to begin, but no one shows up. The only thing coming is a storm outside, which ends up knocking out the power. Oh, fuck that, man. Haley grabs some emergency candelabras, and when the lights come back on their own, the casket ain't where she left it. She gives it a knock-knock. The coffin asks who's there. She calls her bosses, who are together for some reason. They live together? Wait, were those guys boyfriends? Anyway, I love how we can only hear them over the phone when she's right up next to
it could be a rent thing.
To the camera.
Maybe they got caught in the storm, or maybe nobody liked the guy and the family just didn't get to chill out there.
That kind of verisimilitude goes a long way. Take note, Dante the Great. Her bosses assure her that Edwards is definitely dead, and blame the noise on gas escaping his body. The Empty Wake was written and directed by VHS veteran Simon
that casket
Barrett,
is moved.
wrote segments and the wraparounds for the first 2 movies, and directed the second film's wraparound himself. He was hesitant to return to the genre.
I hate shooting found footage, and I really hope to never do it again.
He was won over by the theme of setting all the shorts in the same year, and because he'd get to do a segment instead of the wraparound again. For Empty Wake, he wanted the cameras to start off stationary and become...
He was like, I'm not joining this if I have to do the damn wraparound. I'll base it in something else. And he was really much... Then he was told, you're not doing a wraparound, you're doing a segment, and it's all taking place in 94. And it was like, fuck, I'm in. And, this only came out 3 years ago? Huh? Damn.
become more dynamic by the end. Due to COVID restrictions, they actually shot in the Holiday Inn where the cast and crew were staying and quarantining. Production designer Josiah Mackenzie built 3 fake walls against the side of an existing room. They had lighting effects outside their fake windows to simulate a raging storm. Haley grows curious about Edwards and his accident, but because it's 1994, she has to use a landline phone to call a friend and ask her to look up the accident in a newspaper. She even has to hang up and have her friend call back later. That's how long it took to Google something back then. She hears more knocking, but not from the coffin this time. It's the one and only arrival at this wake.
Are you family, or...?
He's actually been here a while, appearing briefly during the blackout earlier.
Oh, yeah.
The man says a few words in Hungarian and leaves just as abruptly as he showed up. Alone again, Haley's friend calls back and tells her the accident was actually front page news. Another blackout cuts the call short, and in the darkness, Edwards starts to get restless in peace. Haley tries to leave, but the doors have been chained shut. Maybe by that Hungarian guy? As a tornado siren starts blaring, Haley finds that very expensive coffin knocked to the ground. Bad Edwards! Yeah, you stand there in timeout. She tries to talk to him, but the guy's only half the head he used to be. And Tim did not do a good job embalming him. I mean, come on, his guts are still in there. Oh, wait, no, there they go. I absolutely love this effect. It looks so good. Contortionist Devin Chin-Cheong wore a fake half head that they removed in post. Then effects artist Chris Bridges made a slice of brain and filmed it at every angle, so they could digitally add it regardless of the shot. Damn fine work. Since Edwards is lacking eyeballs, Haley's able to distract the organ dropper with organ music. I can't help but wonder why she's still recording though. I mean, that question is almost always present in found footage media, but come on, Haley, put the camera down. She gets spotted by Edwards' half a head, which guides his body to attack her right as the tornado rips through the funeral home. To achieve this moment, they fire 2 air cannons loaded with a mixture of dust, fake glass, cork, and balsa wood. When the camera comes to, Edwards has been crushed beneath the rubble, and I'll count it. He was undead, and now he's dead again, Buck-Cherry style. He's joined on the count by Haley, who's got a zombie walk going on. Looks like she's been turned into one of the undead too. She escapes out a broken window as the camera runs out of tape. Back in the wraparound, Petro Squad is joined by Slater, who's lost—
I'll be honest, I have no idea about that. Was he undead? I honestly can't tell.
Contact with the rest of their team. They head upstairs where they find stuffed animals, severed arms, and a sudden love for monster truck rallies.
We don't need more tech, we need a grave digger.
Between the bathroom mannequins and upside-down crosses, Slater decides it's time to evac the Not Scary Farm testing factory. Doesn't help that creepy lady's voice is still playing over the PA.
Track my signal.
Track my signal. She says that the signal is the stimulant, and that forever starts right now. But she's wrong. Forever's not starting right now. The next segment is. So get in here, Zoran.
Wait, I get to do 2 segments? I'm honored.
Yeah, well, we were gonna have Molly do it, but she partied too hard last night.
Stupid alcoholic dog.
Hey,
the next segment, the subject begins with a dude who's been turned into a Toy Story spider baby. He then freaks out and bursts into flames. Another unsuccessful experiment.
Wait. What?
Gaga. Gagalan.
Oh, Korean. Okay, that makes sense. I'm not saying that to be like a racist or a stereotype or anything, but Korea is damn good when it comes to some horror movies. Hell, Sweet Home, that's Korean.
Months later, Frankenfreaky creator Dr. James Sinedra finally gets a better mic.
Berhasilan agaknya sudah di depan mata.
The Indonesian scientist is making human-machine hybrids, or as he calls them, neo-humans. Whoa. And that kind of work ain't exactly above board, which is why he's operating out of this basement laboratory. He's kidnapped 2 more patients for his experiments, a male and a female, whom he calls subjects 98 and 99. I kind of ran out of ideas there. He begins his operation on Charles Xavier's sister, and when the tape starts back up, it's from the perspective of 99.
Happy born day to you. Happy born day to you. You look like a monster, and your arm is gone too. Oh, shit.
Through her eyes, we witness Dr. James making sure his
bone saw's ready.
In order to chop off this subject's limbs with abandon. No kill graphic yet, though, since as of now, he's still alive!
Damn!
Somehow,
that's
the
awesome.
TV starts playing, and it happens to be a news report about 99's kidnapping. Yes, but about the TV turning on. Just nothing there? We're gonna ignore that? Cool.
Yeah, who did that?
Cool. Dr. James wants to give her a drill bit lobotomy, but she fights back, so he decides to put her down for good. He's interrupted by the arrival of the cast of The Raid. Ooh, and look, they come with their own cameraman.
Pastikan kamu merekam semuanya.
Sweet. Second angle, and one that's not of dubious ethical origin. The
Thank
leader,
you.
Captain Hassan confirms James's identity, but he's not there to take prisoners. Instead, the officers execute him on the spot in an act of street justice. And it leaves cameraman Jono pretty comedically shaken. What? The cops split up to look for survivors, and Jono discovers our POV antagonist, who we only know as S.A. Thank you, self-turning on news report. Jono recognizes her as the missing girl, but she's so messed up that Captain Hassan says she ain't got no soul. She looks super bad. So he decides to put her out of her misery.
Saya tidak akan bawa benda ini ke hadapan orang tuanya.
A convenient blackout gives Subject 99 a chance to adorably crab walk away. The cops try to leave the way they came. Okay. They set off an explosive booby trap that blows 2 officers to smithereens. And yeah, I guess this guy's technically still moving, but I'm gonna assume he's not making it out. A recording starts playing, revealing they've triggered Dr. James's contingency plan.
Milikku semua. Kalian tidak akan pernah meninggalkan tempat ini hidup-hidup.
Oh God, is this a Saw thing? Is he sawing these guys? Well, I guess kind of, as Subject 98, the male one, comes back to life.
He then skewers a man named Echo, leaving him an echo of his former self.
Jono QuickTime dodges his next attack, but 98 makes short work of 2 more cops, Django fetting one while Dookuing the other. Hassan comes to Jono's rescue as 98 gets his blades into another officer and saws his head off. Oh, I knew this was a saw! Oh, and then he throws it at the camera? Oh, bro, sick edit point.
Incredible.
With the bullets ineffective, Captain Hassan decides to frag out, adding to the video game feel of this whole segment. I mean, seriously, this shot right here, yeah, just feels like I'm fighting a cyber demon in Doom. We switch.
No. It's not a cyber demon from Doom. It's more like one of those mechanical things created by Heisenberg in RE8. Boom.
Back to S.A.'s POV as she wakes up in the rubble and sees heads and bodies everywhere. That, hey, we've already counted. I see you comments. There is, however, a fresh and foggy kill happening in the smoke over there. So I'll count that guy getting dragged away. 99 manages to escape her nemesis-like stalker, but she gets caught in a paper cutout crossfire between 98 and the cops. And hey, she's got legs, and she knows how to use them to escape as 98 kills the officers with off-screen sound design. The subject was written and directed by franchise returnee Timo Tchayanto, who co-directed the excellent Safe Haven from VHS 2. Tchayanto was excited to return to the indie filmmaking style of the VHS movies, and he set out to make a simple story in, and I quote, berserk bloodlust mode.
Nothing deep, nothing
that actually makes a lot of sense.
Urge to go mayhem before I grow too old and too comfortable.
I can't wait for my midlife berserk bloodlust crisis.
Watch out.
S.A. finds herself in Dr. James's study, which has the blueprints for a BFG, a save typewriter, and Alfred E. Newman? No, wait, that's just the top of her head. And she verifies it by looking in the mirror. She doesn't like it. Oh, side note. How the hell did this guy recognize her earlier? I guess he's just really good at picking out a chin in a lineup?
Apparently.
Further inside, 99 discovers a friendly head with a cyborg Spidey eye patch.
Hello.
As well as 3 failed test subjects, which include a She-Borg who belongs in a morgue, a henchman of the Tall Man, and this bloody Saw 4 poster head. And there's one Ripley clone in the back who still has some life in her, so S.A. mercy kills her by pulling the plug. Oh, so it's okay when she does it, but not when the commander suggests it. She's attacked by one of the officers, but Agent 99 gets smart and grabs a machine gun arm. Barrett Wallace, eat your heart out. She uses her Proto-Mega Buster to shoot one guy with a super delayed reaction from himself and the blood squibbs. Then she shoots through another officer's head until it's a spurty mess.
Damn.
We're in full video game mode now.
Oh, speaking of which, starting in December, Zoran will be doing video game kill counts on the first Friday of every month.
Yeah, and I'm starting with Resident Evil.
Ooh.
We hadn't announced that yet.
Exclusive. S.A. says, dead or alive, you're coming with me to her human shield that helps her shoot 3 more officers who arrive. Then she throws the body at a 4th guy and makes him do a little dance, make a little blood, and get down on the kill count tonight.
Okay,
Two more
this
cops
is actually
show up,
pretty
but
good.
they've got a 99 problem because this bitch is one badass when she uses her new arm to launch a grenade into one of these guys' pockets, blowing up both her attackers. Another officer brings a knife to this gun show, so she tells him to pipe down. 99 runs into Jono, who refuses to hurt such a lovely chin. Turns out the two have a lot in common.
Sama
They agree to escape
I can
together,
help you.
But Mad Dog Hassan has other plans.
He's hell-bent on avenging his men and goes absolutely feral on SA. Or actually, maybe he's just really bad at CPR?
Plus, the
No,
camera's
he's
about
ripping
to
out
die.
her wiring and totally just voiding her warranty. Hassan's harassment is halted finally when Jono shoots his boss through the back, saving Subject 99. He goes to help SA, but gets tackled by Subject 98. When SA
Just
comes
let
to,
it die.
Jono's getting dismembered by this cyber Jar Jar Binks. So she beats at 98, eventually cracking his head open to feast on the goo inside.
Oh,
Just kind of toss it.
damn.
Sure, that works. 99 collapses next to Jono, her battery depleted. Can someone get this woman a lightning cable? USB-C? I don't know what her operating system is. Jono sadly dies from his injuries at the same time as her battery. Oh man, I just hope they find a good pick for his funeral. 99 won't be going on the count, however, since a security feed shows her waking up and advancing to the next level.
Player 2 has left the game.
The wraparound returns with the kill
Impressive.
graphics, since cameraman Gary is dying on the ground. Petro and Nash watch it impassively. It seems
lit.
like they might not exactly be on the up and up.
Forever starts right now.
They start calling out to the rest of the team.
Arsler!
But none of them can be Arsler to answer. And while walking past some TVs, he becomes entranced and falls to his knees? I
Get off
mean,
your knees,
imagine
man.
getting so entranced by a TV.
It's Tribbles.
We're at my turn now. The final segment, Terror, begins with a blaring alarm. We're at a makeshift military base outside of Detroit, Michigan, but these
Well,
D-bags aren't
okay.
D-Town's finest. This is a propaganda video for the First Patriots Movement Militia, a group of gun-toting
Oh, yes,
white
that makes
supremacists. It all feels like a Chaos Realm version of the Red Green Show. They're led by their self-described Herr Commandant Greg. Damn, Gus from Recess took a hard right turn after graduation.
We will take it back, America.
And remember,
Good
if the
luck.
women don't find you handsome, they should at least find you handy. Greg, you can't just shoot into the air. What kind of example are you setting? Okay, now look what you've done. Michigan
That's
is
a
weird
lot
like
of wasted
this.
ammo.
You run into a guy in the woods with a gun and
injuries.
flannel, flip a coin. He either practices subsistence hunting and loves his labor union, or he's a guy who knows way too much about Viking runes and is just asking questions no one else wants to ask. This
never know.
short is
Could be both.
possibly my
Could
favorite
be it all.
VHS segment,
Could be nothing.
period. Does it help that it's set in Michigan? Yes. But I also think it feels the most like an actual videotape. I've been ingesting a bunch of old family tapes from the 90s, and the magnetic bleed and haze is spot on. In an attic in their barn, they have a holy holding cell covered in homemade crosses and garlic, making this a strong
Okay.
contender for stankiest VHS location, at least until we get to Ozzy's dungeon. They're holding an unnamed prisoner whom they refer to as the Beast. They blow his brains out with a shotgun, but he doesn't get a kill graphic. This execution is a daily occurrence that's used to keep him in check. Well, at least they have a hobby.
He just wakes
See, the
up.
Beast might
Great.
not look it, but he's actually a vampire. And he technically sparkles in sunlight. If you count one giant sparkle, that's the temperature of the sun. To test this effect, they collect some of his blood and inject it into a bunny. When it touches daylight, it goes off like a killer rabbit or a hand grenade hybrid. This is like if J. Robert
That was
Oppenheimer
awesome.
was played by your uncle you had to block on Facebook. The First Patriots plan on using this reaction to attack the McNamara Federal Building in downtown Detroit.
We detonate the abomination.
That building, the real one, not whatever Toronto structure they filmed here, was actually the site of a real-life incident right after 9/11, when a federal
Damn.
officer was killed in the lobby by a guy who was mad he couldn't take his gun inside. This fictional attack is the first step in a plan to overthrow William Jefferson Blythe III's regime, and they don't care about potential collateral.
They got a daycare. They got a daycare.
No, don't take it out of the steak, hell.
Okay.
This movie
What?
came out
No.
in 2021 and was obviously influenced by the political landscape of 2020.
Oh
in
my
fact,
God.
January 6th happened during the segment's pre-production. Writer-director Ryan Prowse was specifically inspired by the 2020 plot to kidnap Michigan Governor Gretchen Whitmer. But this kind of thing is also accurate to the time period. The early to mid-90s saw violent conflicts involving federal forces like Ruby
That's a
Ridge
thing.
and the Waco siege. Those two raids did not go great and inspired anger with the feds culminating in 1995 with the Oklahoma City bombing. That seems to be terror's
God.
biggest inspiration, particularly the detail about the daycare center. All of this actually impacted my life directly. My mom did clerical work in the McNamara building in the early 90s. but went back to school to pursue another line of work, partially because of threats like these. These guys could have blown me up with vampire blood. To arm their holy warriors, Greg calls in reinforcements, none other than Officer Slater from the Wraparound.
Lots of cops are ready for you, Patriots, to take the feds down.
Huh.
Hard.
I feel like Greg secretly yearns for the stage because he gives another speech, this time about their divine call to action.
Could be both, could be all.
Heard Wutan's clarion call to action, and he did his part.
Wutan is another name for Odin, Norse god and ruler of Asgard, occasionally played by a bored Anthony Hopkins.
Not
you
bad.
can see Odin's rune reversed on the militia's insignia. The two branching paths of a Norse god. Be appropriated by white supremacists, or join Fire Emblem heroes as a waifu with gigantic honkers. That night, Greg decrees they celebrate the coming battle with righteous cleansing.
We will get cork high and bottle deep.
Okay?
We're going to get fucking wasted.
Oh, thank you.
Oh yeah. Our Patriots get absolutely slizzard with whatever mix of rubbing alcohol and fruit juice is in that jar.
Never rest, only peak. Never rest, only peak.
Weird chant. We'll workshop it later. Also, I was gonna joke that all of this is what happens when you don't have internet, but Krause's depiction of white power groups was partially inspired by the documentary Skinheads USA, which he described as both hilarious and terrifying. Cameraman Bob enters the Beast's living quarters, where the only sober man on base, Steve, is keeping watch.
You don't want to piss on him?
Bob, what the fuck is wrong with you, man?
No,
The
get out.
fuck is wrong with you?
Why do I keep picking the segments with piss stuff? It doesn't take
Why
long
do
before
you?
Steve is cajoled into messing with the Beast by Bob.
Jump on the wheel.
He's
They
gonna
wind
get
up
out.
sounding like us yelling at Daisy Edgar Jones at the end of Twisters.
Kiss him!
The
No,
next morning,
don't.
the group is roused from their hangovers by alarm bells. Seems like the Beast got loose last night and killed one of their own, a guy named Terry.
Terry's fucking dead.
Greg frantically
go.
calls for a head count of everyone outside, and a severed head is tossed out in response. I think this guy's name is Reed or something. It freaks out one
Damn.
guy so much he goes full ATF and just starts blasting, killing one guy with friendly fire. He only
dude.
stops shooting when he's put down with 2 bullets to the head. Steve is revealed to have survived and tries to come outside, which isn't the best idea.
You're covered in vampire blood.
He immediately explodes,
And boom.
and the blast knocks over these 2 guys on the left. Since we never see them again, I'm just gonna go ahead and count them as dead. Why not? Terror has a
I guess that's
ton
fine.
of stunts and pyrotechnics, which Prowse called a childhood dream come true. They did have to deal with cold weather though, since they shot in February in Burlington, an hour outside of Toronto.
Ooh,
Sometimes their
that's gotta
fake
be
blood
cold.
would literally freeze in the tubes. Greg leads the surviving militia members on a vampire slaying expedition. He seemingly clears the attic, but when this guy Tom tries to go up, a fully transformed beast appears and fucking tears his
wow.
face off. The remaining trio gives chase, but another dude named Jimmy is killed when the beast repeatedly bashes his head into the ground. Bob
Ooh,
freaks out
that's
and starts
terrible.
firing, accidentally hitting Greg in the process.
My leg.
We get a close-up look at the vampire's Reaper-looking final form as he knocks the camera to the ground. This is an excellent practical creature effect that I almost forgot about.
Damn.
Ratma just casts such a large shadow over the rest of this movie. After his success with Ratma, Patrick McGee was hired to make the Beast. He had even less
wow.
time for this one. Only 11 days to do everything from punching in the hair to gooing up the mouth. He designed a vampire maw the Superformer controlled by sticking their hands inside and waving them around.
Oh, that makes sense.
Nice. And close. And a big open. There you go. Nice.
The Beast helps himself to a big bite of Bob and leaves him looking like Two-Face. Then the vampire proceeds to drag the injured Greg into his own holding
Oop,
cell.
here we
As
go.
the Hair Commandant proclaims Christ is king, sunlight hits the Beast, igniting him and wiping out Greg and the whole compound in the process.
And that's how you take care of that.
Alright, I gotta finish the wraparound.
I can't stop. Detroit was mentioned. I can't stop.
I know.
Chelsea.
Hunt me down.
Chelsea.
Get her out of there. Thank you, Zoran. Thank you. Get her out of here.
We return to the compound, where Spivey's been given the eye-popping treatment. Slater is tied up
jeez.
next to him. He's being held hostage by Petro and Nash, who reveal themselves as members of this cult that just, like, really loves movie night, you know? They confront him over his alt-right connections and let him know how this tape
here
is
we
gonna
go.
end.
We're the final girls. You're our final kill.
I don't love the dialogue here. It's laid on a little.
Get that out, Bill.
We deal in contraband content, strictly VHS.
But I do love this kill, as Petro beats Slater's head with the camera until it's nothing but a bloody pulp.
Oh, pulling the Brave
ends
Countess
as
2.
two ladies talk about their latest tape.
What should we call it?
Oh, I know. You could call it Title Card. How many Ratmas did this bout of Ratmas Ratma? Let's find out and get to the Ratmas.
Whoa, Ratma!
No, this is a tape.
Ratma! Ratma!
Tape.
Ratma!
Hail Ratma.
And here we go. Go ahead and just do that for all of us.
Alright, Josh, thanks for watching the house while we're gone.
Yeah, anytime.
Yeah, enjoy the new augmented reality headset I got. I actually downloaded a game you might enjoy. Just ask it to open Josh's present.
Sure, I'll try that out while I'm waiting for my Dragon Dash order.
Present?
Now go, have
That's
fun.
the name?
Yeah, just gonna lay low a little bit after the Wonka kill count backlash.
Get that.
I just thought that maybe if we tried something. Just messed up.
Alright, gotta get moving.
Call me if you need anything.
Alright, see you, buddy.
Alright,
let's
now
see.
how's this gonna get
Launch
done?
Josh's present.
Welcome to Kill Counter.
Cool, a game that's also my job. Great gift, James.
Ready?
Wait, tap
set,
what?
count.
Should have been the button.
How do I? Huh? What?
That's
the hell?
how.
So I just point and. What? I can do this.
Oh, no, that'd be fun.
Oh, and my food's here. Nice.
Let me guess. It's gonna kill this guy?
3. 4.
Counting
Pause.
makes me feel good.
Yeah, I've got a Dragon Dash order for a Josh L.
That's me.
Damn!
We counted
the hell
53
was
kills
that,
in
James?
VHS 94. The victims consisted of 43 men, 9 women, and 1 unknown head in a bucket, giving us a more than 4-to-1 ratio of dead dudes. That body count puts
Oh my
94
God.
just ahead of its predecessor, but VHS 2 is still the reigning champ of the series. The kills per
26.
segment broke down like this, with the subject responsible for just over half of them. Timo reigns supremo. With a runtime of 103 minutes, VHS 94 had a kill on average every 1.94 minutes. And with 5 segments, including the wraparound, the movie had an average of 10.6 kills per segment.
Not
We'll give
bad.
the Golden Chainsaw for coolest kill to the news anchor. It's such an unexpected and graphic way to end the first segment, and you gotta love all that spurting goopy goodness. There's a reason this was up for best kill at the first ever Deadbeat Horror Awards. Don't
Oh,
mention the
yeah.
latest kill will go to those 2 militia members killed in the explosion, since I'm not even sure they died. Like, where the heck did those guys go?
And that's it. VHS
Into the
94
back
was
rooms.
released in 2021 and was Shudder's highest viewed movie premiere ever.
Until it was surpassed the following year by its sequel, VHS 99.
We'll look at that next week after a Sunday special, but until then, I'm James A. Janice.
I'm Chelsea Rebecca.
And I'm a man whose wrestling coach refused to learn his name and called him Zucchini Garage Sale instead.
You want to wrestle sometime, Zucchini?
Wow.
Oh, and this has been the Kill Count.
Come here.
On the next Kill Count.
What is?
Yeah, so the next one he does, like he says, is a Sunday special, and that is Wishmaster. Now, unfortunately, I will not be checking that one out. Mostly because it's, well, a Sunday special. It should be one that you can check out and watch on your own. Alright, everyone, well, that's going to be the end of today's video, and I hope you all enjoyed this. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe for more. Link to the original will be in the description below, and I'll see all of y'all next time when we flick back on. Till then, this is Fox, signing out. Peace.